Hi friends, today you will see how to create a Dale Chihuly inspired sculpture from recycled materials. Dale Chihuly is a glass sculptor who uses Unity to enhance his artworks. Before we begin, what is Unity and how is it used in art? Unity is achieved when the elements of an artwork combine together to make a balanced, harmonious, complete whole. A unified artwork is pleasing to the human eye. In other words, Unity makes everything within an artwork look like it belongs together. Let's take a look at a few of Dale Chihuly's works to pick out what unifies them. In this artwork, we could say that the shape, pattern, and color palette of the glass unifies the work. In this artwork, we could say that the color palette and the form of each glass coil shows unity. Now let's get into making our own Chihuly-inspired work. For this step, you want to gather many coffee filters and a variety of washable markers. The markers must be water-soluble and not permanent. You'll see why later in this video. Crayola markers will work well. Since you will be wetting our coffee filters later, make sure you choose colors that will look nice if they bleed together and mix. It is very important that you don't spend a lot of time making a design on the coffee filter. You won't see the design once the coffee filters are wet. I would not spend any longer than 2 minutes working on each filter. This step can be finished quicker than you think. The more color that you add, the brighter your coffee filters will be once they've been wet. Adding less color will make your coffee filters appear lighter because the white of the coffee filter will dominate its appearance. You will now need a styrofoam cup and a small tray or surface to catch water drippings. You will also need a spray bottle. Start by giving the cup a little spray and then form the coffee filter over top of the cup. Spray the coffee filter a few times until you see the color start to flow. Do not drench the coffee filter. You will now use a glue and water mixture and a paintbrush to gently dab some glue onto your coffee filter. Only dab, do not brush. The filter does not need to be completely covered in glue. Do not spill the cup of glue over your filter. The glue will help to lightly stiffen the filter once it dries. When you are done with your first filter, move the foam cup somewhere to drip dry. And repeat this step several times with a new foam cup and coffee filter. Next step. Start with an empty water bottle that has been washed out from previous use. Remove the label and cut off the top of the water bottle. It should look like this. Now, use a small amount of acrylic paint. A little bit goes a long way. The paint must be acrylic because tempera will chip off once it is dry, and oil paint will take weeks to dry. Acrylic will dry fast and it won't chip. Cover the outside of the bottle in the paint. There is no need to paint the inside. And let the paint dry before the next step. Now you'll need a pair of scissors. You are going to cut diagonally up your bottle while slowly turning it. This can be tricky, but if you take your time and pay close attention while you are working, you will be successful. You will have a long plastic coil once you have finished cutting. I'm going to make my coil strand thinner by cutting up the spiral. This looks nice and it's a great method because now we have 2 coils. Doing this is a great way to make the most out of your materials. Repeat the previous steps several times. You want to have several dyed coffee filters because you want your final product to have variety, but also to appear full without any empty spaces. You also want to paint several water bottles, more than what is pictured in this video. The more materials you have to work with, the better you can unify your work by dispersing your colored filters and your plastics equally throughout your work. For this step, you can either use a hot glue gun or a hammer and short nails. I'm going to demonstrate using a hammer and nails. You can do whatever you feel more comfortable with. As you can see, I have painted my wooden board black and now I'm organizing my coffee filters and plastic coils. If you are using a hammer and nails, try to layer multiple coffee filters and pieces of plastic instead of just using one nail per filter. Layering will lessen your chances of the filters ripping off of the nail. I like to layer 2 filters and then a plastic coil on top, and then hammer the nail through the materials onto the wooden block. Remember to use caution when using the hammer or the hot glue gun. After you hammer or glue your materials down, you can shape and adjust the filters and plastic to your liking. Here are a few images of my finished work. See how full it looks? When you look at the work straight on, you will not see any of the black board shining through. Notice how the materials and colors are dispersed evenly throughout the work. This shows unity. You can decide which way you like your work positioned. Now it's time for you to get started. Thanks for watching and have fun!